Alright guys, we're highlighting three more really unique tracks for you. The first one is the Devil's Backbone, track 14 in Howell County. The next one is the Mule Shoe, track 13 in Hickory County. And last is a huge 408 acres in Webster and Douglas County. Be sure to check out the description below. We're going to have links to all the full property listings so you can jump to whichever tract you really like the most. We'll also have the timestamps for each of the videos so you can jump back and forth and watch the drone footage of any of the tracks that you like. Thanks. Outcastland.com.
All right, drone video. This is tract 14 at the Devil's Backbone. This does border the National Forest along its west side. The entire west side. That's where we're looking. We're looking down on the west side as we face east. The easement road borders the whole west side of the property, as does the National Forest, which is directly across the easement road. So we're actually over the National Forest now. We're facing easterly, looking at the property. The road kind of bumps out right there because essentially that's where it ends. There's one tract after this, and so the turnaround is right there. That road you see off to the left that's going to the east, that's a driveway on tract 13. That's not on this property. So tract 14, heavily wooded. As we look easterly off in the distance, you can see those darker trees. That's a pine grove on the property with beautiful tall pine trees. Some pretty good sized pine trees too. And unless I'm mistaken, this is the property that has the pond on it. And there we go. There are about 30 tracts out here at the Devil's Backbone, and we found, I think, 2 ponds, and this was one of them. It's directly on tract 14. It's not a big pond, but it looks like it was very well made. It's been there probably for decades, still holding water, even though it's probably had no maintenance as far as removing limbs and branches. It's probably had little or no maintenance for many years, and still holding water, so that's awesome. So in an area with national forest and deer everywhere, you've got a permanent water source on your property. So odds are that the deer and the turkey visit this tract 14 regularly as part of their kind of rotation because they love to have that water source right there. You'll see some different trails kind of crisscrossing these tracts. They're just old trails that were on the larger property. The only easement road or trail is the access road on the west side. So these other trails that you're seeing, that's not for anybody else to cross over your property. That's just old trails that happen to be there when it was divided. So 14 has the gorgeous pond. I don't see any actual driveway coming off the easement road. So that's something that if you were to do that, you would obviously increase the value of your property immediately. Now we're heading easterly. We're getting to that pine grove. So we're a little bit east of the center of the property. And then there is actually kind of a natural clearing once we get to the east side, if we see that. I'm not sure if we will see that actually. But look at those big pine trees. Hard to tell from the air, but you've got quite a bit of what appear to be mature pine on the property. There's another one of those trails we were mentioning. So yeah, that's the natural clearing that I spoke of. And I knew that was there because I'm looking at the aerial map while we're doing this voiceover here. It looks like where one of the old trails probably changed direction, and that's toward the east side of the property. So it could be convenient if you wanted to kind of punch in your driveway to go back to that east side and take advantage of that natural clearing there. Now we're looking westerly and flying back westerly toward the easement road. In the distance you can see the Mark Twain National Forest. Tens of thousands of acres of land that's available for you to hunt and camp and play, and they've got trails and roads and creeks and rivers, and it's amazing. I mean, people come from all over the nation to hunt and camp in the Mark Twain National Forest, and you literally have it essentially adjoining your property because it's we're looking at it right on the other side of that easement road. So we're still over the west side, and then once we cross over the road, that's the national forest right there. So you can literally, just use that word, to overuse that word, can literally go from your property into thousands of acres of national forest. A lot of hunters and campers like the Devil's Backbone because it gives them the opportunity to have their own private acreage and still be able to have immediate access into many, many thousands of acres of additional land. So if you're hunting, obviously, with the pond, even without any other kind of wildlife preparation, you're going to have deer and turkey loving your property. But if you have a large group of people, or if you want to really do some exploring, you can go into that national forest. That was just a quick look at Tract 14. Super nice tract, one of the very few tracts with a pond on it at the Devil's Backbone, and also one of the very few tracts with that large pine tree population. So special property. If you have any questions, just let us know. Okay, drone video, Tract 13 at the Mule Project. We're looking east, property on the right side of the county road. Truck is probably parked in about the middle of the road frontage. So again, looking easterly, property on the right, goes way back to the south for about a quarter mile. You can see that dark green area toward the right of center. That's going to be that cedar glade on the property. It's actually got a kind of a large cedar grove and then a natural glade area that I hope we'll see. You could see it on the Google aerial map for sure. Looked like a beautiful open natural cedar glade. So now we're looking just basically due south at the property. The dark area being the big cedar grove. Electric is physically on the property. It's on the south side of the county road, so that's awesome. Not only is it in the area, but it's on the property, so that's really nice if you ever need it. Flying southerly here. This is a kind of a cloudy spring day when we took this video, it looks like. Most of the leaves are out, but they really haven't gotten their full coloring yet. It looks like some of the trees actually have not gotten their leaves. The walnuts, I think, start a little late. Mostly hardwood here on the north side from what we're seeing. And then there we're getting closer to that cedar grove, which is where we'll see the natural glade area, hopefully. The Mule Conservation Area, is only about a half mile or so away. There we go, beautiful natural Ozark glade right there. The grass only grows about a foot high, and then it just looks like that. And that's probably how it'll look for the next couple hundred years unless you do something to it. It's just really neat. There's another small glade right below us. So we're south of center on the property. You can see that there are dozens of different types of trees out here. Type of tree. Not sure how to word that phrase. Okay, I think we're going to get some altitude here and possibly check out the area. We're looking to the south, way off to the right. You can see a home off in the distance. You would never see that from the property. And now there's another glade. I'm not sure if that's directly on Tract 13 where we are, or if we're looking a little bit to the west. But as we look off to the west, you can see the Niagara River, the Little Niagara River, which runs through the Mule Conservation Area, which we're also looking at. Conservation area is over 2,000 acres of land that's generally open to the public for hunting and hiking. Obviously, you can swim and fish in the Little Niagara River, and it's beautiful. They actually have some campsites within the conservation area where you can camp for free. So that might be a nice option if you're visiting your property and don't have a campsite set up yet. So now we've transitioned back to looking northerly, and off in the distance is the county road. You can't see it because of all the timber, but the county road is there. And looking northerly, we might have, when we got turned around, we might have drifted to the west a little bit. I feel like we're either hugging the west side of Tract 13, or we might have gone over into Tract 12. I feel like we are just barely in Tract 12 right now. Big sycamore tree on the lower left. You'll see those near creek beds. And that's either at the far west side of Tract 13, or we might actually be on Tract 12. But I mean, the tree cover, the ground cover is going to be very similar. Gorgeous area. The wildlife out here is phenomenal as far as the white-tailed deer, as far as the wild turkey. Our maps indicate kind of a little wet weather creek bed that may begin on this property, and that's probably what we were looking for right there. The sycamore trees are always a very good hint that you're near a good water table, or perhaps a creek, because those sycamores need a good water supply. Okay, so now we've kind of been heading northerly. We're looking to the east. And again, property on the right. It's got a little over 300 feet of frontage directly on the county road. Property is 95% wooded. Really, the open area, only open areas we saw would have been those natural glade areas. Stunning property. Very rare that we're able to have something that has not only county road frontage, but the power line physically on site, which is awesome. Even if you don't need power, that's adding value to your property. The mature timber, the cedar trees, the natural glade area, and then all within about half a mile or so of the Mule Conservation Area, which has the Little Niagara River, miles of trails, and there's so much to do out here. It's awesome. Very special property. That's Tract 13 at the Mule Project. If you have any questions, just let us know. All right, we're about to see a stunning property, big tract, 408 acres in Webster County, Missouri, and Douglas County, Missouri. It's all contiguous, but it straddles the county line. We just launched from, I believe we're in a meadow area. We're on the property, but I believe we're in a meadow area on the Douglas County side. And as we back up a little more, I'll be able to tell. Or if we look down, I'll be able to tell. There we go. Okay. Well, I can't tell. There are multiple meadow areas, miles and miles of trails on this property. If we can take if we can pan out a little bit, I believe that's where we are. I believe we're on the Douglas, the portion on the Douglas County side, and we're looking north. And we're going to fly to the north, probably. So this is a kind of an early fall video. A few of the leaves, some of the leaves are changing. Heavily wooded property. Mostly hardwood trees. You're going to have oaks, red oaks and white oaks, and that kind of good stuff. You'll have dozens of species of trees out here. Unbelievable property for hunting white-tailed deer and turkey. I mean, this is just a hunting paradise, and to have 408 acres in one tract is unbelievable. So we flew northerly there. Pure Ozarks, so it's a mixture of highs and lows and ups and downs. You've got large flat ridges on this property. You've got valleys. We've got some creek beds. Again, miles of trails. And we're just kind of flying northerly, checking out some different areas. We're going to be in Webster County now. We launched the drone in Douglas County. We're in Webster County. So the property has about 240 acres in Webster County on its north side, 168 acres in Douglas County on its south side, but it is all contiguous. It's all one big property. We're checking out the Webster County stuff. There are several different kind of hunting stands or hunting cabins. They're not cabins, but they're enclosed, elevated hunting stands, and we have found several different ones on the property. They're really cool, super used. I mean, they're nothing you're going to go take your family or your buddies and spend the night in, but for hunting, they're awesome. I don't know if we're going to see any in this video. So now we're flying back to the south. I mean, look at that ground. That's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous out here. You'd have numerous spots on this property with a view or a potential view. It's heavily wooded, so you may end up having to create your view at some point, depending on what you're looking for. Actually, I don't know, there are different spots on the properties on this property where we did see a view, even without having to thin out the timber. So as we look south, you can pretty much assume there's going to be a nice trail somewhere on all these ridges out here. I mean, that's we did not map out all the trails on this big property, just some of them. Okay, that's where we started the video. So yeah, that clearing is toward the northeast part of the Douglas County 168 acres. Nice level clear. Oh, at the bottom right, we can just see one of those little hunting shacks, elevated hunting shacks. Now we're flying southerly. So this is the 168 acres on the Douglas County side. Looking down a valley, back up, you see an open area with one of those little hunting cabins. And right at the bottom of the screen is a natural glade area. So this particular cabin, or hunting blind, whatever you want to call it, really, really cool. It's elevated 10 or 15 feet on large, massive posts, and it's set up to look northerly and hunt that glade area on the other side of the valley. Oh, off to the right, you can see a pond on the property. Now we're just we've spun around to the north. Oh, we're going back, okay. Nice pond on the southwest corner on the Douglas County side. But that particular hunting cabin we just saw, I guess the little cabins or blinds or whatnot had names, and that one is called the Tin Can. It had a little homemade plaque up by the door, and a couple different people that we had talked to told us they'd hunted from the Tin Can and done extremely well. Saw some massive deer that crossed the glade area on the other side. So looking northerly, those open areas, possibly trails as well. So the east side of this property, the northern part of the east side borders what's called the Southern Missouri Off-Road Ranch, and that's about an 800-acre property where people take their side-by-sides and whatnot. Super cool. So if you're into off-roading, you could be one of the very few people that own a property that borders the off-road ranch. And now we're back where we started. We're on the Douglas County side. There's another one of those little structures. I mean, this was designed from day one almost for big deer, big wild turkeys. The openings, kind of the food plot type areas, the trail system, it's just awesome. Some nice timber on here. Great location. Extremely private. You absolutely do want a four-wheel drive to get to this one. I mean, check out the listing page for more information, or give us a call or send us an email. We basically never are able to offer properties this large, so we're really excited about this one. 408 acres, according to the county. And there, as we look at there, I mean, you can see tons of different trees. We found walnut trees out here, sycamores. Yeah, it's just awesome. I mean, if you're really looking for a place to get away from it all, 408 acres in southwest Missouri is about as good as it gets. 30 miles out of Springfield, about to crash the drone, a few miles out of Seymour and Ava, Missouri. Great property.
Thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to subscribe. Keep watching all of our other videos. Check us out on social media, along with YouTube. We have Facebook and Instagram. And be sure to check us out at outcastland.com.